Hello friends, I have a brand new, just announced, really interesting lens to show you today. I think it's going to be a popular one. It is the LUMIX 100 to 500 millimeter f5 to 7.1 OIS. This is the first ultra telephoto zoom lens from LUMIX for the L mount. I've used it on my LUMIX S1R2. I'm impressed with the lens, and I will share some of my results and my thoughts in this video. And by the way, my name is Leigh, and I create videos about photography as an art and as a lifestyle. Subscribe to the channel to see more. Backing up a minute, I said that this is the first ultra telephoto zoom lens from LUMIX. However, there are others available for the L mount. Remember that LUMIX, Leica, and Sigma all make gear for the L mount. And Sigma in particular offers us some amazing options. I own the Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter myself, and I've used others like the high-end 300 to 600 millimeter f4. But there are two things about using one of those lenses. One, if you want to make use of LUMIX's dual IS2, which is seamless integration between the camera and the lens in terms of optical and in-body image stabilization working together, then a LUMIX lens is the way to go. You get up to 7 stops with this lens on a LUMIX body. And 2, those Sigma lenses are larger and heavier if you want something that zooms to 500 millimeters or more. Let's talk about why both of those 2 points are significant, along with a few other important things about the lens. I'm not surprised to see amazing image quality from this lens. That is simply expected of new lenses these days. Check out this heron, which I captured at 500 millimeters. As a side note, the focusing distance on this lens is pretty close, which allowed me to be this close to the bird and still achieve focus. The details we can see here of the eye are incredible. I can even see mud caked onto the end of his beak. It's super crisp. Side note number 2, you can see raindrops around the bird. It was raining while I was out there, and this lens is dust and splash resistant, so I had no worries using it in the rain. So image quality is amazing, but like I said, I'm not surprised. What did stand out to me when I was briefed on this lens is how practical it is for beginners, surely, but for anyone who simply wants an ultra telephoto lens without the size and weight of the existing options available. For what it is quite compact and lightweight. Look at it next to my Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter. The larger and heavier the lens is, the more difficult it is to shoot handheld, and the more of a chore it is to travel with. I really have to think about it, especially when traveling, if I want to pack my Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter. I need a large bag, and it's heavy for me to tote around. LUMIX used their new optical technology to help make the lens compact, but they also limited the apertures available throughout the zoom range. That is a trade-off between the larger lenses and this new one. Just looking at my Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter, I can use f6.3 at 500 millimeters. A slightly narrower aperture at 500 millimeters means 2 things. A slightly less shallow depth of field, which I didn't actually find to be an issue. And more importantly, you are allowing less light to reach the camera's sensor, resulting in having to use a slower shutter speed or a higher ISO sensitivity. Now, the difference between f6.3 and f7.1 is 1/3 of a stop. That's not much, but when we're talking about low light situations or fast moving subjects, we do generally want all of the light we can get. But just looking at these 2 lenses, the trade-offs for a much smaller lens are the 1/3 of a stop at 500 millimeters, and the Sigma lens does extend to 600 millimeters, but you retain the top-notch stabilization with the LUMIX lens. I captured all of the photos and videos you see today handheld. A few other things I should mention. You can use this with the 1.4x and 2x teleconverters. It comes with a removable tripod mount that is ARCA compatible. This lens has a few ways that you can customize how it works. There is a tight, smooth control so that you can decide how easy it is to turn the zoom ring. It also has a function button that you can customize. And you can decide what the focus ring does when the camera is in autofocus. You can even adjust how the manual focus ring focuses, either linear or nonlinear control, and how much you need to turn the ring to adjust focus. It has silent focusing, and focus breathing is suppressed. Basically, I have talked about this lens being great for beginner wildlife or sports photographers. I've talked about it being a compelling lens for travel, but it has pro features. Those, along with the clarity of the lens, make it appealing to me, and I've used many ultra telephoto lenses in my time. And I imagine a lot of folks are going to be interested in this lens. I've had so many viewers over the years talk to me about wanting to do wildlife photography, but they just can't carry the big and heavy options because they have some sort of physical limitation or they simply don't want to carry them. This lens solves that. I think it's great that a lot more people are going to be able to do wildlife photography or sports or whatever they want an ultra telephoto lens for. I think that for a lot of people, this is the ultra telephoto lens to own. And then the larger and heavier options, like the Sigma 300 to 600 millimeter f4, are great for renting every once in a while. That's just my opinion though. What do you think? After seeing my results and hearing about my experience, do you think this is a compelling lens, or is there something else that you want or do already use? Let me know down in the comments. Of course, I will add a link to the lens in the description of this video for you to learn more, like the price and the availability wherever you are. It does go on sale for pre-order tomorrow. I think this is going to be a popular lens, so definitely scurry on over there if you want to get it on pre-order. Before you go though, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. Those two things, along with commenting on videos, are such a huge help for the channel, and they're free. Thank you to LUMIX for allowing me to use this lens ahead of launch, and thank you for watching.